next on the Zapata Brand podcast. This young man started following in his father's footsteps at the age of 10. He's worked hard, and at his last event, at the age of 14, he is now on his way to powerlifting success. The Zapata Brand podcast welcomes AJ DeAngelis.
Hey guys, welcome to the Zapata Brand podcast. And normally we do the quick hits here with my two brothers here, but today it's going to be a little different. Right now we have Anthony. What should I call you, Anthony? You good with that?
Big Ant's fine.
All right, and AJ. That Anthony. The last name DeAngelis. AJ DeAngelis. Anthony DeAngelis. Father and son. This brings me back to when I first started the podcast. I had my son on for a little bit, but AJ will go down as the youngest one we've had on the podcast today. He is 14 years old at Abington School in Plymouth Meeting, Pennsylvania. Now, I'll say Big Ant because you're the older one. Anthony, you reached out to me when we had Greg Valentino on.
Right.
Well, and one of the things that you were noticing about how Greg was so close to his father, and we spoke privately through Instagram. You got a hold of my older brother, and he directed you to me. Right. And one of the things that I enjoyed was I was going through, you always spoke highly of your son. Right. And then as I went through your Instagram stuff, your Instagram post, I noticed all his lifting and stuff, and he's taking after his father, which would be you. If you can quickly, Big Ant, give me an idea of how you started in your career and how it led to AJ now taking over.
I want to thank you for having AJ and I on. I appreciate that.
That's not a problem.
I started working out at a very young age I used to race BMX, bicycle motocross, and just same as you want to be buff for sports, and you think more muscles are going to make you better at sports, and
right.
It's true. And then I just found that competitive bodybuilding was something that it's an individual sport, right? So unlike baseball or soccer, sports I played, you're going to give 110, 120%, then you might have people on your team that aren't going to give as much as you. With bodybuilding, you have to diet, have good nutrition, weight train, do your cardio, practice posing. So the more you put in to the bodybuilding, the better your results are going to be on stage. So that's how I started competitive bodybuilding. When AJ was born, I remember he lives with his mom and stepfather, Lisa and Jerry, in Abington. I remember saying that I can't wait till he's older because to do stuff, father always wants to do stuff with their kids, just like you with your thing and your sports. My father used to take me bowling every Tuesday night. I was in a bowling league. We used to enjoy fishing. I said, I can't wait till AJ's older. I'm going to take him to the Chinese buffet and have him do weightlifting. He was a little bassinet, listen to Toy Story. We used to go out. So it just started happening. You hang out with your kids, and he picked up weightlifting, and the whole powerlifting thing started because we're down in my basement gym now, and he was very strong, which he still is. On the leg press, he could do, he first started doing 600 pounds for reps at 13 years old, which is pretty strong. Then he did 800 pounds for reps. And he said, hey, Dad.
Did you say 800?
800, yeah. It's pretty crazy, 800. Right? Yeah.
I'm barely getting 100 at this point in my life. 800 pounds.
He's still doing.
Oh, good Lord. Okay. Go ahead. Continue.
And he said, hey, Dad, do I get a special award at school because they have awards for strongest lifts, like football players? I'm like, that's and bench press they probably do. But I started thinking the leg press is similar to a deadlift and a squat. So we started doing powerlifting movements, and he did his first powerlifting meet, and that's how it started.
Wow. And I'm going to be putting in the pictures as we're going through this here, and you'll see the transformation that you had from your bodybuilding there. And for context, Ant, you are in your 50s.
I'm 57. I'm old, yeah.
Well, but I'm just saying, because number one, you don't look it. Number two, when the pictures come up, you are in incredible shape.
My last show, I was 50 years old. I started competitive my first show when I was 18. When I was, I think, 22, 24, I competed over 100 shows, and I have 2 natural pro cards. And not to brag or boast, it's all about my son, but I don't have too many second place trophies. A lot of them are in my basement or first place in overall. So, I mean, again, I did all my research. I used to buy the Flex magazines, the Muscular Development. I used to get money from my full-time and part-time job. And if Rich Gaspari, a famous bodybuilder, or if Lee Haney, a famous bodybuilder from the 80s and 90s, were doing a seminar, I would save my money, go listen to them, bring a notebook, ask questions. So all my information about competitive bodybuilding was listening to the pros, reading the magazines, and trial and error for myself.
Okay. So now, yes, we are going to be talking about AJ, but actually we wanted to see where the genetic came from. So obviously great genetics. Your wife, Lisa, or ex-wife, Lisa, she has great genetics also, hence bringing us to AJ. Now, AJ, when did you really want to get into powerlifting? And now we're saying powerlifting.
Maybe around like 14, probably.
14. And now you're now competing on what is there a different classes, or is there different open, novice, or no? Is it just straight?
He's 14 now. He competes in the 14, 15-year-old teenage groups. He's always one of the youngest ones at the meets because he's at the 14 to 15. So he's been competitive for about 5 months in powerlifting.
Okay, so you're now competitive for 5 months. Is there anything? So your school does not offer this, I'm assuming.
Yeah,
As a school, no, because that hasn't been in the school for a little bit. What is your favorite lift that you do?
Probably maybe deadlifts, probably.
Deadlifts. Where's your weight at for that?
My max for the gym is 287.
Okay, 287. Holy cow! On the deadlift.
My meet I did 280.
280. And what did you place at those meets?
Yeah, Christmas Carnage, I got second place.
Whoa. Who got first? Who got first place?
Actually, there was a boy who AJ, a real nice guy. I'm actually friends with his father through Instagram. He's a powerlifter also. He's 15. He has a little bit more experience than AJ, so he was one of the younger ones. But it was pretty competitive, and the kid, real nice kid. We became better friends. He beat AJ in a couple lifts, but
and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying if you're at
another one, but he also did a deadlift contest only. It was last man standing. So you start with the bar, and they would have teenagers and women just lift with the bar, and it was a charity event for Pit Rescue in New Jersey. And a good buddy of mine, Henry Skiba's gym, was putting it on. Another buddy of mine was promoting it. I said, hey, let's just go. And he was nervous. I said, look, just have fun. We're going to donate some money to Eric Schwartz, and, it's all good for a cause. So he starts with the bar. And my plan was just to have him do like 135, 155. The most he did the time was 225. So he did 135. Then he wanted to do 155. And he's like, Dad, I want to do 185. So he's like, tell him your lifts. Go ahead.
Yeah, I did 135, 155, 185, 205, 225. And I did 245, and then I just did
275 was his last lift. So he went 9 for 9 that day.
I'm at 105 right now. I'm trying to creep my way up, but these peanut butter cups that I'm eating aren't probably the best for my powerlifting. But AJ, let me ask you: when you first get there and you're warming up or you're getting ready to do your first, let's go back to your first competition. What was going through your head? Because I want the people to understand, because there are a lot of younger kids that watch our podcast because they follow the boxing and what have you. What was going through your head when you were thinking about it? Were you nervous? Were you excited, or were you just more or less trying to concentrate on getting your form down?
I was probably all three because my first meet, but my dad probably does like my dad probably my dad puts in like the numbers, like he knows what I can do. So like I wasn't scared that I couldn't get it. I was just nervous. It was my first meet. I would mess up like the
commands.
Yeah.
He didn't do too well because he never squatted in a mono lift, and we practiced the commands, but he wasn't sure. So we warmed up backstage, and he did 165, 175 easy for the squat. So I made his opener 155, which at that time he did 200 pounds in the gym. So, okay, he'll do 155. In the back of my head, I'm thinking, the back of my head, he'll do 155, 175. This last lift will be around 195, 200. So his first attempt, a buddy of ours was there. He was a powerlifter. He was with AJ, and the command, when the mono lift lifted up, he didn't have a good balance. The floor, as a combination of inexperience and nerves, he didn't make the first lift. He actually he bombed, and that kind of set him up a little insecure and low self-esteem for his next two lifts. And in powerlifting competitive, if you don't make one attempt, you can't lift the rest of the day. So he was very upset that, Dad, you upset? You mad at me? I said, no. He goes, I waste money. I said, no. So after the squats, we went to watch the meet. We went out in the parking lot. We got something to eat. We threw the football around. I said, look. And a really nice guy, one of the judges, saw him, and he goes, I saw you backstage handling weight. He goes, don't worry about it. So no, we're going to come back in December, Christmas Carnage, and I promise we're going to train hard. You're going to see a new AJ. You got to finish telling me.
Yeah, then that's when I became second place. I did 9 for 9 in Christmas Carnage.
See, now there you go. That shows when you go back and you put the work in, listen to your father. Now, one quick thing, and what do you mean by he gave numbers? What is that the number, the weight?
Your opening number, like for example, powerlifting is the best 3 lifts. So if AJ had a max at the time his first lift, a squat of 200 pounds, you have to make your opener, your first attempt. Now, if you miss it, you can't go lighter, but you could go heavier. So I knew he could do 155. Backstage at that day, he warmed up at 155, 165, and 175 for his confidence. I knew he had it in him. But a lot of it was low insecurity, low self-esteem. So you have to give the guide coach up front your number. So, okay, AJ D'Angelo's 14-15. The bar's loaded at 155. You get a certain amount of time. Then if he makes that, his next lift was going to be 175. His last lift was going to be 195, 200. But he never made the 155. He had a little problem with the footing. He didn't go low enough, and just psychologically, and he was a little distraught. But again, a really nice Alexander Orman, a guy from the Federation. He's one of the judges. And he goes, look, man, I saw you do the lift backstage. I said, no, we're going to train real hard. You're going to come back, and we're going to have redemption Christmas cards in December. And that first August. And sure enough, we saw him and shook our hands. And actually, he was the gentleman who gave AJ his trophy. And he made a little speech about this is what powerlifting is all about, the RPS powerlifting meet that this kid, tried his first time. He got a little discouraged, and he came back like a champion.
Okay, so let's go back a little bit, AJ. So you come back to Christmas Carnage, you get second place. Come back, you do very well. Where do you look at and that was this past Christmas, am I correct?
3 weeks ago.
3 weeks ago. You came back. I did see the videos. I did see that. I saw that up on your Instagram. So now you have that in the book. So now you're looked at as someone who's accomplished something and you actually placed. It's only going to get harder from here. Is this something now that you're going to have to put the work into more, and this is where the direction you're going? Or are you looking to say, I got to where I am and I've got the goal that I wanted and I'm going to stop there and do something else? Is powerlifting something that you're going to now go forward with?
I'll probably put the work in for now and see how I feel.
Okay. Now, how about bodybuilding? Would you transition to that?
No, probably not.
Really? Oh, okay.
Well, him that he's also good in basketball. I wanted him to play basketball for Abington, and he missed the tryouts and stuff. I said, look, you're going to do something. You're going to be competitive because it's good. And, you have children, right? That it's good for self-esteem. It teaches them dedication. It teaches them discipline. I like to bring up that, AJ lives with his mom, Lisa, and his stepdad, Jerry, and they're very supportive, and they're very disciplined with him. And they're home in Abington. He sees me, on the weekends, a couple days a week in Plymouth meetings. So you're going to do something that's good for you. So after the deadlift contest, there was an exhibition contest in Wolf Fitness Center in Northridge, New Jersey. A buddy of mine, a former correction officer, opened up the gym. I said, AJ, we're going to do this meet. And remember, now this is the second meet since he bombed. So a little self-confidence. Look, just go have fun. Don't worry about it. We went up to Skiba's gym. His really good powerlifter, Henry Skiba, coached him a little bit. And tell him what you did at the lift over at Wolf Fitness?
I went 9 for 9.
9 for 9 again.
All white lights, perfect lifts. Tell me your numbers.
Okay. For my max, for squat, I did 180.
Okay.
And then bench 110. And then deadlift, I think I did what, like
265.
Yeah, 265.
And for context for the audience, you are 14 years old.
Yeah,
You
I was
know,
You were 172 pounds.
yeah.
172. So in context, to think about that, you're on the upper level of strength for your age.
Mhm.
And we did for that show for about 2 weeks. Again, we made the weight, very light because again, it was more for him to get over the August raw dog meat that he bombed us. I wanted to have self-confidence. I wanted to have good self-esteem. So again, he could have did about 10, 15 pounds stronger than me. I said, look, just be confident under the bar, follow the commands. And the couple of judges said AJ was one of the best lifters, that he had the best commands, the best depth, the best form. So after that, we said, all right, we're going to train hard and we'll go to Christmas Carnage in December and we'll go from there.
What about your diet, AJ? What does it are you well, it's you're a kid. I mean, but is there some specific foods that are better for powerlifting than obviously for bodybuilding, but for powerlifting?
Probably, well, I usually do probably like chicken and rice or like steak. Like, I probably do like maybe like, or bacon. Like, probably like steak to digest before my meat. Probably.
Okay.
I
All right.
make
Or your
chicken and pasta here. He has, again, I showed you the picture, which we have to come up visit you. He loves bagels, lox, and cream cheese,
Yep.
some scrambled eggs, a cheese omelet. I mean, he eats well at home too. I mean, I try to, his school schedule is kind of tough, so we'll have like a chicken wrap, and his mom and stepdad make him a healthy dinner. But I tell him to get a couple like Smucker's Uncrustables, a couple of peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, maybe a protein bar, some fruit, some good, nutritious, calorie dense food throughout the day. And I mean, he has a good appetite. We go to Chipotle 2 or 3 times a week. He gets a burrito or a bowl. Today, later on, we'll probably go to the Chinese buffet. I'll let him loose with sushi and lo mein and chicken. And he's young. His metabolism's good. He can pretty much eat where if I walk by a pizza shop or look at a chocolate bar, the weight's going to go right here. So he's at the age where get big and strong, eat healthy, be healthy, and we'll just ride it out, see how long it goes with this.
AJ, as far as school goes, how are your grades and how are you doing in school?
I'm doing actually pretty good.
Mhm.
I think my worst grade is C. If I can get that.
Yep, we'll work on getting that up, right?
Yep.
Okay, because it's a difficult schedule to do both.
Yeah, it's not bad. It was my first year in high school, so I'm still trying to get like the use of it still.
It's an adjustment, but what I'm saying is, to put the dedication into powerlifting, we have a few kids in the area that do it too. It takes a bite out of your schedule. So and it's not something that baseball isn't as you're sitting in left field hanging out. Powerlifting, you're pulling everything and pushing everything for the max. You're gonna get tired. You're gonna get fatigued. So that's important that you still maintain the good averages in school that you do. Are any of your friends all there?
What?
Do any of your friends, are they joining too? Do they like your powerlifting or no?
Not yet, no.
He has friends in the sport that we meet and guys from online, but his school, they're basketball, hangout, computer games, stuff like that. But they're all proud of AJ. So I take the pictures and I show his buddies, like, wow, AJ, that's cool, man. Wow, look at that. But they're still into it.
Yeah, it's unique. It's unique. And that's why I've always said to my kid, being unique in the sport realm is actually very good. What I found out, boxing in Berwick, which is kind of rural. It's not like Philadelphia down by you guys. It's rural. So you're the exception to the rule there, similar to AJ going into powerlifting there. So AJ, the next 4 years is going to be your high school. What do you plan on doing after high school?
Maybe go to college and probably get a job before that and Well, maybe if I still want to do powerlifting.
What is the military or a police enforcement in your sights or no?
Not that much now.
No.
So,
Gotta love that, Dad.
but
Oh, yeah.
different now, right? When we grew up, your father worked at the plant or General Electric or Pico. If you didn't go to college, they pretty much, who do you know, you got him in. But now, he's good with computers. He's a bright kid. I told him, I don't care what you do as long as you like it and you're good at it and you can make an honest living. I like him to do something. He likes animals. He likes sports. I told him he should go to school. That what I was doing, I was going to school for nursing before I got divorced, but I was working as a physical therapist, a physical therapist assistant. I think he would be good, something like, as a athletic physical therapist, something like that, or I mean, whatever he wants to do. But I'm trying to push him to something that he enjoys, so he doesn't have to like, oh man, I gotta go to college and take this class, and I don't really want to go to work this day. I want him to do something that he enjoys. So it's not so much a career; it's a hobby that he makes money from.
Yeah, and once you do that, I mean, you'll never work a day in your life. But here's where I want to wrap up a little bit with you. So, Anthony, you reached out to me because of how I was on the podcast with Greg Valentino. Very clearly, when we had conversations privately, one of the main focuses was your son AJ. I believe he is your only son. Am I correct? Okay. That's important because not only did you reach out to me, your ex-wife did too, also, and they are extremely proud of AJ. Sure. And AJ, a lot of people don't understand, AJ, at your age. And I'll tell you this because believe me, I have kids and I'm just dad and everything else. It doesn't matter. The fact that your father and your father with the sport of powerlifting have that much involvement in you and in your life is something that you'll remember the rest of your life. I didn't have a father. My father bailed on me years, I was 8 years old. Never saw him for 30 years. I see my kids. I am divorced too. My kids, we are separated. We separated years ago, but we're divorced. I've since remarried, but their stepmother is very close to my kids also. What I will tell you is what I can see from you and what I see from AJ is that man in the life has helped shape this young man very nicely. He's a very good young man. I can say that from experience. I see a lot of people. In my life, but I can say that this young man here is going to be something in this world. And when I say that from the bottom of my heart, because there's times where you look at people and I employ people and you can see people out of the gate and say, well, that person might be here. That person may go this way. When I speak at schools, you can figure out who's divorced, whose parents don't get along, whose parents don't like each other, whose parents have a good home life. The most important thing that I will tell you guys is this: that bond you guys have here is the most critical part of your life that you will have going forward. And I can say that because when I came on the podcast, I didn't know if it was going to be you two or it was going to be one or the other, but it's you two sitting side by side. That picture that I have right here on my on that screen is the most important picture you're going to have. I'm going to take this picture and I'm going to send it out to you guys when I get it.
Thank you.
And I will tell you, good.
AJ lives with his mom, Lisa. She's a hairdresser. She owns her own salon. So she comes from hard, old school, blue collar work ethic. Mm-hmm. His stepdad, Jerry's retired. He was a union electrician, pipe fitter, I think he was.
Yeah, I think so.
Very hardworking. I know, coming from me, my story. Years in corrections, old school, blue collar. I had a part-time job for 33 years while I was in nursing school and still working in corrections at A&P Superfresh. My girlfriend, also a big part of AJ's life. She's a former, Lori was a former kettlebell champion at the Auto Classic, bigger competitor. She does Tough Mudder. She trains with AJ. She's a correctional officer. So he has a lot of blue collar work ethic. One thing, he doesn't know the meaning of lazy, and he never associates with people who are lazy. Like we went to the gym last night to train back, and we go to we usually train in my home basement gym, which is here, but I like to take him to a commercial gym. That way he meets people, he sees people at his age, what they're doing, so it's competitive. And I introduce him. This is my buddy. He's IFBB broke classic physique. This is another buddy of mine. He's IFBB broke men's physique. This guy is an amateur, but he's going to be a pro. Not to brag that I know these guys, but they were just once like us, normal, good-looking Italian guys that put the work in. Kind of good-looking, right? But they put the work in. They climbed the ladder. My one buddy got his pro card in classic physique. He's doing very well. Another acquaintance got his pro card in men's physique. Another guy won a bunch of first place. He's going to eventually be a pro. So I take them there to have them talk to AJ, and they're very good with them. They shake his hand, they congratulate him. But just to be around that work ethic and to see that they don't have any gifts. Genetics, they're okay. But it's old school blue collar work ethic. And if you want to be a pro, if you want to be a welder, if you want to be a hairdresser, if you want to be a firefighter, if you want to invent a new basketball for dribbling, he can do anything he wants as long as he puts the work ethic in. That's why I bring him to the commercial gyms like Power Build and the training center and Super Fit, and we go to a new gym every week, and I introduce him to new people and people I know, and I just want him to be around that positive, hard-working atmosphere. I think it's important for him. Skiba's gym in North Jersey, that's Henry Skiba's his coach. We go visit him once or twice a month, and they love AJ up there. Again, he's one of the youngest kids, and they all high-five him, and they all encourage him and give him help. So, I mean, it's a very good powerlifting isn't like bodybuilding. Bodybuilding's subjective. I might like a guy with a smaller waist. You might like a more powerful guy. You might like this guy because he has crazy quads and bigger arms. It's very subjective. Powerlifting is like basketball. You throw a ball through a netted hoop, you get points. Either you do the lift or you don't do the lift. It's a lot more camaraderie backstage in powerlifting. They cheer each other on. When I used to compete bodybuilding, I'll shake people's hands and I'll be cool with them. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, I'm going to bury you on stage because I know you ain't training harder than me. But now it's kind of like they're all supportive. It's a different genre, and I like it better. It's better for him. It's better for me. It's a matter. It's a better well-being. It's a psychological and self-motivating place. Where bodybuilding is cool, but you're not really friends till you have to get your trophies and you go out and have a burger and some ice cream because you've been dieting strict for 22, 24 weeks. With powerlifting, you're supporting the guy in his class, the other lifters AJ was competing with, and they just supported him and high five. So it's very cool. I mean, it's very supporting. It's very good self-confidence.
We're in North Jersey. Where in North Jersey do you go up there? Steve's gym.
Steve's gym in Carrat. Is that
Oh
near
yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
I know exactly where that is. Wow, very.
Greg Valentino, if I could bring up real fast from I was endorsed by a supplement company, Animal Pack. I met Greg at Strong and Shapely at East Rutherford, and Greg's such a great guy. He's a good family person. He's like, I was late because my daughter had a lacrosse or a soccer game, and so yeah, Greg Valentino. It's nice to meet you. And I brought tomato pie up. What's this? He goes, I know what it is. Come on, I'm a guinea just like you. So him, myself, and Bob Bonham are eating tomato pie after the lift. We're talking about old school bodybuilding guys like Lee Haney and Rich Gaspari and Barry made that great 80s, 90s era. And that's how I knew Greg. And he signed a picture for me and AJ on the wall. And I think he's a great guy, awesome family guy, great father, supports his daughter, his kids. Yeah. And it's cool. And we had that relationship from Greg. We're not best friends. We've been acquaintances for like 20 years. And to see him on your podcast, like, wow, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, he's a good dude. He's him and his girlfriend Lucia. They've been friends with the podcast for years. Very close to my brother. My brother's real close to Greg, and I speak to him occasionally. It's just he is so busy. He's either filming something or doing something else, and selling stuff. You saw his house. He sells a lot of stuff. He sells a lot of stuff. But in closing,
train here in my basement with his schedule. He lives with his mom and stepdad, Abington. So I pick him up Thursday at the bus stop. I have his pre-workout meal. I take him home. He drops his book back off. We usually go to a commercial gym. We train Thursday. Afterwards, we go Chipotle. I have him home by 7:30 so he can get his homework, shower, get ready. Friday, pick him up at the bus stop. He gets his backpack. He spends the weekend with me. We go home. He has a pre-workout meal. We either go to my basement or super fit gym or a local gym, commercial gym. We'll train.
Mhm.
Hot tub will relax. We'll play video games. And today, like Saturday, we're just relaxing. We might do some grocery shopping, video games, hot tub, go to football around basketball. Then Sunday,
Mhm.
he doesn't have any plans. He'll sleep over Saturday. Sunday, we train legs. We either go to Skiba's, we'll train here. Then I bring him home Sunday afternoon. And his mom and stepdad, I set a little protocol where he does cardio over their house 3 or 4 days a week. He has an arm routine. He trains with them. So he does about 4 days of working out, 3 with me, 1 or 2 with his mom and stepdad at his home in Abington.
And
So I think
that is awesome.
he has, homework. So he has a pretty busy schedule for 9th grade.
And that's why putting the emphasis on the work in the gym is rather important. And his confidence will build as he goes. I mean, my son ran off 7 straight fights, and then his first loss, that shakes you. It does shake you. But he was good afterwards. Now he's better. And now he switched to football.
I think you have to lose to be a better winner. Tell them about, because there's probably a bunch of first time lifters. Tell them the experience Raw Dog in August. What happened about your confidence and your first meet was yourself, myself and Buddy. Only probably wants to hear that. Tell George about that.
Oh.
The very first powerlifting meet.
Oh, well, of course, I was nervous to lift, like always, but I was extra nervous. I was going to mess up the commands, and I just had I just was really nervous, and I was probably thinking like positive. I was probably thinking some negative and positive thoughts at the same time, and I just didn't do that.
But when you lift, if you have a negative thought, does it affect the weight almost? Like it feels like, oh man, it's heavier?
Probably, yeah, a little bit.
Okay, so you definitely have to get your mentality straight on that. It has to happen, because you can't think that you can't do something, because then you're right either way. If you think you can, you think you can't, you're right. You know what I mean? So I think once you get through that first bad experience, you'll get better. You'll get better, and you'll improve along the way. But I will say, with the support of your parents and their spouses or significant others, it's going to go a long way for you, AJ. Trust me, I know that just from experience.
He made him a better lifter, because it'd have been great if he would have got a trophy and he played well. But I'm kind of in a parent way, because just like you are, old, and I'm kind of glad that he learned to lose graciously, because I think that lit a little bit more of a fire underneath them. And we spoke to that gentleman. We're like, see us in December. I promise the kid's gonna be changed. And AJ's like, yeah, man, beast mode, I'm on. Like, he knew that redemption. So I'm kind of glad it happened that way. But the kid was like, Dad, you waste your money. I said, no, man, I'm good.
Yeah.
Park a lot. We had a couple of good meals. The diner. We watched the meet. I said, no, it's learning, AJ. I said, I'm kind of glad this happened. That way, it's going to make you a better winner. And now, I don't want to say it's unfortunate, but now he's 26 for 26. Every time he competes, he's perfect. So I said, it's not about being perfect. It's about your attempt, because you have 3 attempts. You have 3 squats, 3 bench presses, and 3 deadlifts. So your very last attempt should almost scare you. It should be a weight that you're not even sure you could do, but you're manageable. Like, if he could deadlift 287 in the gym, his last attempt should be like 295, 300. So we always go a little conservative. If he could do 287 in the gym, we'll go 285. This next to me, I said, yo, we're taking the baby training wheels off. No breaks. We're not going for perfect. We're just going for, I'd rather have him do his first 2 attempts, try a much heavier weight, injury-free, be safe, and miss it, and be comfortable with that weight and work on the technique, than have him be perfect in a lighter weight. So his next meet, that his last lifts are going to be his openers, and we're going to try to go 20 pounds after that for his next 2 attempts.
All right, well, let's do this. How about this? The next meet you have, I want to go.
It's actually going to be in Newark, New Jersey. It's January 27th.
I know exactly where it is, Newark, New Jersey. Let's if when you guys have that meet, prior to that, what I want to do is I want to get you on, see your progress, and if I can get to that Newark one, I have someone coming in studio in January, but I don't know if it's the same day.
Now you got to be really good. You can't upset George. See, I tell him that
I'm coming.
This gym that everyone's pulling for him. So he has such a supportive team. His mom, his stepdad, me, Lori. Everybody wants this kid to do good. And I said, it's not like you're going to upset them, but you have so much positive support that everyone's cheering for you. It's just going to make you train harder. Now you have George on our team. So
here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put it out there. I will be there. If I can get there, Newark, I will be there on that day.
Friday morning at 8 a.m. to I think 12 noon is the females and the teenagers. I just signed up. And,
do you know what they?
He's like, you know what, Dad? I thought I'm taking off till May. I said, yeah, I thought you were going to take off till May full of Christmas cards, but I felt that he could have went a little heavier. Than after this one, we'll work on strength, get the weight up, increase everything till May. So we have a nice 5 months off season. I figured that we'll do one more. It's close to Skiba's gym. He's going to be on Skiba's powerlifting team for that. Me, he's actually going to be on a team. And again, we'll meet new people. He's in front of the judges. We'll get more feedback. So January 27th at the Holiday Inn in Newark.
And what day? What is that? A Saturday or Sunday? Saturday. Okay.
8 to 12 noon. AJ will be in a teenage division, so I think women go first. Then he'll probably go around. I'm assuming like around 11:30. He might be. But we'll keep it.
Either way, somehow either I will get there or my brother will get there.
He's up there.
Jersey Jay-Z. He lives right there. So what's that?
He lives right around the corner. You know what? Maybe it'd be cool to bring Greg there. I'll bring a tomato. We can hang out, eat tomato pie afterwards.
He would love. You know what? I'm going to call Greg today, and I'll let him know if he got time to go. It'll be.
I remember myself and AJ from the picture because when I spoke to Greg, I said, "Man, I met you so many times, and I felt bad I didn't ask you for a picture. Did you have a son?" And 2 days later, the picture was actually probably right here. I'll show you. 2 days later, he signed the picture for AJ and I, and it's right there.
Oh, yeah, there he is.
So he wrote to Anthony and AJ, "Get your freak on, hit the iron. Your boy Greg Valentino," and dated it. That's pretty cool. So
So either way, whether it's me personally or Jersey Jay-Z, it's one or the other. We're gonna get there. He will either me or him will interview you before your lift. So that way you can get on there. You could show people exactly what it's like to be a 14-year-old in a powerlifting competition. And hey, it's no pressure. It's no pressure, but you can't let me down.
No, I won't.
And you're no pressure. 14 and 15 in the 181-pound class. So he usually weighs at 74, 75. So he still has 6 or 7 pounds to get to the top of the class. And next year he'll be the oldest. So he'll be 15. So everything positive is going to go much better every year if he decides to keep lifting.
Absolutely. I know that. Well, as I go now, AJ, Anthony, I appreciate you guys coming on. I want to show my audience exactly what this is about. This is a Powerlifting podcast, likes to bring people together, doesn't like to separate people. But most importantly, I love the fact of father and son relationships that I bring on the podcast. Do you have any social media at all that they could follow you or your son?
You know what? They can follow me at Big Ant 1026 on Instagram. AJ and I just spoke about last night because we're going to try to get in a couple endorsements for some food and supplements. So we're going to build his Instagram shortly. We're going to do it last night, but I want him to be careful and pick something he likes and save something about. So once we build his Instagram, and we'll definitely tag you on stuff like that. But right now, everything is Big Ant 1026 on Instagram because, again, 14, I like to supervise. And, I spoke to his mom about it. And it's just, you got to be careful nowadays. You know what I mean? You know exactly. Yeah.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Believe me, we had a YouTube video that went a little bit crazy. And boy, oh boy, did we get some comments on that. So you got to be, you got to have thick skin to do this.
MySpace back in the day. And
MySpace.
You remember MySpace?
Yeah. Yeah, I do.
It was much different now, and he has TikTok and he does stuff like that, whole little videos, basketball, and
Mhm.
You know, he enjoys other things that other sports will put on there, but nothing powerlifting related yet. But we're actually going to work on something this weekend. But we're definitely going to keep in touch, and it'll be great for you, Jersey Jay-Z, even if Greg, any from your team could come up to the meet in January, it'd be awesome.
Oh, we will. I'll talk. I'm going to talk to Jersey today. He actually just saw Greg the other day. So, but I'll get a hold of him. We'll make sure. I don't think Lee Priest will be in the area. If he is, my brother usually drives him around, so
Right.
he will be there too. Either way, we're going to get back in touch with you. I will either me or my brother will be at that meet. So AJ, you got to start training now. I want you training. I want a first place trophy on this podcast right behind this wall. I'm gonna put the trophy right behind here. If you win, that's my guarantee to you. That trophy will be right behind this wall. Is that a deal?
Bagels, we'll bring tomato pie. We'll have a big carb day.
That's what we'll do. And I'll bring you up to the podcast and I'll have you guys in studio. Sound like, is that a deal?
You have the ring downstairs, right?
I still have the boxing ring, yes.
Interest in that too.
What's that?
He has interest in MMA and boxing. That's another hobby. So
This
I told him
perfect.
he was more excited to see the ring and have bagels and talk about powerlifting. I'm like,
So the deal is this: I come down the 27th in January. If I can get there, me or my brother will be there. If not, either way, you guys come up this way, April 27th. I get back in the ring one more time. I'll have you guys in the front row. We'll take care of the tickets for you.
all right. You like
Sound
boxing?
good?
Yeah, thank you.
That'd be great.
All right, buddy. Hey, Ant, AJ, good seeing you. And by the way, anytime you want to, reach out to me, and we'll make sure we'll take care of you at the podcast.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks for watching the Zapata Brand podcast. Please subscribe to the podcast and listen where all podcasts are available.